Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen B, and you're tuned in live to the show of the land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out iesportsradio.com for bios on all of the hosts, as well as more information on what each show talks about. You can also check out our blog, and there is a forum where you can chat with the different hosts of the shows and ask questions and things of that nature. Tonight, we are going to talk about the Browns, even though I don't really want to, but we're going to talk about them. And then we will talk a little bit about some college football, some awards, and some playoff and bowl games. We will talk about the Ohio football state champions. And then we will talk about the Columbus Crew going to the MLS Cup. And we will move on then to some basketball with the Cavs, the Charge, and some college basketball. And then we'll talk some hockey with the Blue Jackets and the Monsters. And we'll wrap things up with some Guardians news. And I just got a juicy detail. So hang in for that one at the end of the show. Let's get started with these freaking Browns. Ugh. Let's start with some good news. So, among tight ends in the NFL, David Njoku is first in yards after catch, tied for fourth in contested catches, eighth in receiving yards, and tied for 10th in first downs. So, at least David Njoku's having a good year, even though he got attacked by a fire pit earlier in the season. Joe Flacco was promoted to QB2 last Wednesday with the concussion to DTR. He is, as of yesterday, still in concussion protocol, so we will see what happens with him. The Browns had NBA Hall of Famer Jerry West speak to the team last Wednesday. Wide receiver Michael Woods II has been suspended for 6 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy, though nobody seems to know what it is exactly that he did. I did see mention that it was regarding an incident that happened over the summer, so that's all I know. But I mean, he's out for the season with torn something or other, Achilles or ACL or something. So, not really that big of a deal that he's suspended because he can't play anyway. Joe Flacco was named the quarterback or the starting quarterback against the Rams. DTR was ruled out. Denzel Ward was also ruled out for the second week in a row with a shoulder injury. And Marquise Goodwin was ruled out, still in concussion protocol, which is a little worrisome given his history and what's been going on with him over the last several months with his blood clots and everything. So hopefully Marquise Goodwin is good and he completes the concussion protocol soon. Joe Flacco and AJ Green were both elevated from the practice squad for the game against the Rams. AJ Green is a cornerback, so he was elevated because of the Denzel Ward injury. Joe Flacco obviously got the start. He played pretty well with the exception of an interception thrown towards the end of the game, which basically cost us the game. It was 20-19. Old Faithful Dustin Hopkins missed the extra point to tie up the game. So we were like, oh, it's like the Ravens game all over again. No problem. Yeah, well, so much for that. Flacco threw the interception, then the Rams scored a couple more times, and it was just blah from there. So the Browns ended up losing 36-19. The defense, once again, did not look as dominant as they have in earlier weeks. Myles Garrett seemed to be on some sort of pitch count situational play type deal with his shoulder injury. So we will see what happens with that. But the Browns fell to 7-5 on the season. Good news is the Steelers also lost, so they also fell to 7-5. And the Ravens were on a bye. The Bengals did win, but they are still a game back at 6-6. Amari Cooper left the game with a concussion. So we will see what happens with him through the concussion protocol. Hopefully we will still have him this week coming up, but the way things have been going with concussions, I'm not so sure, because DTR didn't clear in a week, and Marquise Goodwin has been out for 3 or 4 weeks now. So fingers crossed that we get Amari back, because it'll really suck to not have him coming up for this game on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The good news is it is a home game. So we are back at home, done with the road trip. And I believe we are home for the next 2 weeks, might be 3. So, good news there. And Trevor Lawrence did get hurt last night in his game. They're saying it is a high ankle sprain, and he has not yet been ruled out. So, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the week to see what quarterback we shall be facing and which quarterback we will be starting. Because who knows? Roll a die, and you might get a quarterback. Maybe. The Browns quarterback jersey just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're going to need to make that like a 100XL to fit all the names. And it's going to have to be big and tall also to fit all the names. I believe it's at 39 now. I could be wrong on that number, but it's 30 something. And but Joe Flacco did set a couple of franchise records on Sunday. He is the oldest quarterback in Browns history to take a snap as a starting quarterback. He also hit 9 different receivers in the game, and that was also a franchise record. So he did not look terrible. The interception was what it was. They were going for it all, and the wrong team caught the ball. So, it is what it is. Unfortunately, he threw it to Elijah Moore, which didn't really make sense, because when you're going to do something like that, you kind of want a bigger receiver. So, not really sure what the thinking was there, but it is what it is, and it is over, so we shall move on. Anthony Walker Jr. is the Browns nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, so congratulations to him, and hopefully he gets it, though I doubt it, because the Browns players never seem to win that. But anyway, we will move on to college football, because the Browns just depress me right now. So, Ashland's, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, Nehemiah Cannon was named a D2 CCA First Team Offense All Super Region 1. Jackson Myers was named a D2 CCA Second Team Defense All Super Region 1. Akron's defensive end CJ Nunali was named MAC First Team Defense. Wide receiver Daniel George, MAC Second Team Offense. Wide receiver Josiah Gathings, MAC Second Team Offense. Linebacker Brian McCoy, MAC Third Team Defense. And a defensive back KJ Martin, MAC Third Team Defense. Kent State's all MAC selections were wide receiver Christian McCray, first team, kicker Andrew Glass, second team, and third team wide receiver Luke Floria and DT CJ West. Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr. was awarded the Graham George Offensive Player of the Year award. Also awarded the Richter Howard Receiver of the Year award. Tight end Cade Stover was awarded the Wallach Clark Tight End of the Year award. And their all Big Ten team selections are as follows. First team, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., running back Travion Harrison, wide receiver Donovan Jackson, tight end Cade Stover, and DB Josh Pryor. Second team, Matt Jones. Third team, Emeka Abuka and Kyle McCord. Ashland played in the Crossroads Bowl over the weekend against McKendree and won 23-20. Miami of Ohio played Toledo in the MAC Championship and won 23-14. Ohio State will face Missouri in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas on December 29th. Marvin Harrison Jr. was named a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. And Youngstown State played Villanova and ended up losing 45-28. So their season is now done. And then on to some high school football, where we have some champions. For Division I, St. Ed's won the Division I state championship over Springfield 31-21. Division II, the Massillon Tigers beat Archbishop Houghton 7-3. And it was Massillon's first time in the playoff era to win the state championship. Division I, Division II. Next, we do not have a Division III, so Division IV. Glenville won over Archbishop Alter 38-3, and that is like their fourth or fifth in a row. And then Division V, Perry won over Liberty Center 21-14, and it is their first state championship in school history. Division VI, Kirtland won over Versailles 32-15. So congratulations to all of those high schools with their state championships. St. Ed's and Glenville are almost always in there, so those two are no surprise. But we've got two first-timers in there with Perry and Massillon, so good for them. Just want to give a shout-out to Taryn Rodriguez and Mikey Two Guns in the chat. Mikey says, "Go Tigers, go!" Yes, the Massillon Tigers with their first state championship. Awesome. So happy for them. But, we are not done with football. It is time for some football. Football. The Columbus Crew had come from behind win over FC Cincinnati. That's right. Cincinnati scored first at 14 minutes. Then Cincinnati got another one in stoppage time at 45+3. And we're up 2-0 at the half. And then A. Powell got an own goal off a Christian Ramirez attempt. at 75 minutes, and the Crew got on the board 2-1. Then Diego Rossi tied it up at 86 minutes, and it was tied at the end of full time. Christian Ramirez scored a goal in extra time at minute 115, bringing the score to 3-2, and the Crew won. Woohoo! Bright spot of the entire weekend, since everybody else sucked all weekend, for the most part. Christian Ramirez was named man of the match with the winning goal, and the Crew will host LAFC in the MLS Cup in Columbus this coming Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I cannot wait. And it's actually going to be on TV. I'm so excited. I can watch it. Mikey says, is this the Crew's year? Mikey, I think so. I really do. I don't think anybody can stop them this year. Right now. They're just unstoppable. Even when they're down, they come back. I thought for sure the game on Saturday was done when it was 2-0 for like the entire game pretty much. I kept checking the score because it was on MLS Season Pass, so I was not able to watch. So I had the score pinned on my phone, and I was checking it like every probably 5 minutes because I was a little irritated that I couldn't watch it. But anyway, I was checking it, and it was 2-0 forever. And I was like, ugh. And then they got the one goal, and I was like, all right, just need one more before time runs out. And they got it, and it went to extra time, and Christian Ramirez hit the goal to seal it. And we're on to the MLS Cup. So I think they can do it. I really do. They want it. They want it so bad. This team is all heart. All heart. But next, the Crew 2 general manager Corey Ray was named 2022 MLS Next Pro Exec of the Year and is a finalist for the same honor for 2023. So congratulations to Corey Ray, and hopefully he comes out on top. I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's the Crew people. They almost won the Next Pro Cup, but they lost I believe it was in the Cup match. It might have been the conference final. I don't recall. It was about a month ago, so. But anyway, onto some college soccer. Mount Union's Carter Hancock was named United Soccer Coach's first team All-American, only the second Purple Raider to achieve this and the first since 1994 to earn All-American at any level. So, congratulations to Carter Hancock. Now, that is going to wrap things up for all that is football and football. So I am going to take a short break, and then I will be back to talk basketball. Just basketball. Not basketball and basketball or anything like that. Just basketball. On the Show of the Land with a Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, Or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing, from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. During the break, Mikey Two Guns asked how Deshaun Watson is doing, and unfortunately I had to tell him that Deshaun Watson is out for the season with a broken shoulder. But he did have his surgery on that, and from all accounts, surgery went well, so hopefully he can begin rehab and get back at it and be ready to go next season. He also says you guys had some huge wins this year. The Baltimore win stands out. Yes, that one and the 49ers game were huge wins. The 49ers game was with P.J. Walker at quarterback. So definitely some great wins there. Unfortunately, the last two games have not gone so well. But hopefully we can get back in on track this week, being back at home. And who knows who the quarterback will be. We shall see. It will be either Joe Flacco or DTR, depending on concussion protocol. Mikey says, how do you feel the Browns' future with him at the helm? Honestly, it has been difficult to form an opinion on that because he has not had any true, consecutive games where he played well. He got hurt in the Titans game and ended up missing a couple of weeks, and then he broke his shoulder in the Baltimore game and was out for the season. So he did play well in the Titans game. He played well in the Baltimore game, and actually the second half of the Baltimore game was probably the best he's played since he's been with the Browns. And he played the entire second half with the broken shoulder. The injury occurred in the second quarter. So, crazy. I don't even, I don't even know how he did it, honestly. Mikey says, how did he break his shoulder? Was it a big hit? He kind of got sandwiched between two defenders, and then his shoulder hit the ground. So, it was a very weird play the way it happened. He kind of got sandwiched at the waist, and then his shoulder slammed into the ground. So it's the same shoulder that was already injured. He had micro tears in the rotator cuff after the Titans game, and then this actually broke a piece of bone off of the shoulder. I can't remember what exactly it was called, but yeah, it looks nasty, and it's his throwing shoulder, so I'm not sure what things are going to look like. They said, given his age and everything, he should make a full recovery, but the only way to fix the break was with pins and screws and plates, so I don't know. We'll see. Mikey says, could he make it back for the playoffs? No. Definitely not happening by playoffs. He is expected to be able to participate in OTAs, possibly training camp at the latest, but he will definitely not be able to make it back for the playoffs. And at this point, I'm not sure the Browns are going to make the playoffs. So we'll see. We shall see. I mean, the good thing for the Browns is the teams that they are competing against also lost, so that helps, but I don't know. Not too positive on the horizon for the rest of the season, so we'll see. Plus, I don't know who our quarterback's going to be because DTR's in concussion protocol and Joe Flacco is still on the practice squad, so we will see. We will see what happens with that. I hear that it is expected that the Browns will sign Joe Flacco to the 53-man roster at some point this week. As of the last time I checked, it has not happened yet. So we'll see what happens. But as of yesterday, press conferences, DTR is still in concussion protocol. So, anywho, we move on to some basketball. Let's talk about those Cavs. So Tuesday, they played the Atlanta Hawks. The starting five were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. They were down 33-29 at the end of the first and up 64-61 at the end of the half. And Evan Mobley had a double-double in the first half. He finished the game with 17 points and 19 rebounds. That was a career high in rebounds. At the end of the third, they were up 102-90. Donovan Mitchell also had a double-double with 40 points and 11 rebounds. And they ended up winning 128-105. They were trying to get as many points as they possibly could because this was their last game of the in-season tournament. And they needed the point differential to make it, and they fell short because the Knicks beat the crap out of the Charlotte Hornets. So they ended up coming in 5th in the in-season tournament, and they are not moving on. Mikey in the chat says, how are the Cavs doing this season? Haven't watched much of them. They are 11-9. They're doing okay. They've had a lot of injuries to start the season. Jarrett Allen was out at the beginning of the season. Then Darius Garland got hurt. Donovan Mitchell got hurt. Isaac Okoro has been hurt a couple of different times. Karis LeVert has been hurt. Dean Wade is currently hurt. Ty Jerome is hurt. So half of their bench and most of their starters have missed time. He says, how has Strus been? Good signing in your opinion? Strus has been absolutely amazing, and yes, he is a great signing. A few of these games they wouldn't have won without him. He has been an absolute stud, and he has really stepped up with the injuries, especially when Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell were out. So he has definitely been huge. And there was a game last week, I think it was, he scored 20 points in the third quarter. And that 20 points was the turnaround in the game that gave the Cavs what they needed to get the win. So he has been amazing. Thursday, the Cavs played the Portland Trail Blazers at home. Dean Wade and Ty Jerome were out. Starting 5, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. They were up 25-22 at the end of the first quarter. Mobley is 8th in the NBA in rebounds per game. Jarrett Allen is 2nd in the NBA in field goal percentage. They were up 46-40 at the half. And then they were up 75-74 at the end of 3. And they ended up losing 103-95. So, yeah. That's pretty much how the season has gone. They were up the whole game, and then they lost it in the fourth quarter. Saturday, they played the Pistons. Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, and Ty Jerome were all out. Starting 5 were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. They were down 30-25 at the end of 1. Donovan Mitchell is 2nd in the NBA in steals at 2.07 per game. They were up 54-48 at the half, up 85-82 at the end of 3, and they ended up winning 110-101. Isaac Okoro had a career high 5 steals. Donovan Mitchell is 9th in the league in points per game at 27.6. Darius Garland and Max Strus led the team with 22 points each, and Jarrett Allen had a double-double with 19 points and 12 rebounds. Their next games are tomorrow against the Magic at home and Friday at the Heat in Miami. Those two games are the games the NBA added since they did not make it to Vegas for the in-season tournament. And then they will return to their regularly scheduled games on Monday, and they will be in Orlando to face the Magic. Hopefully, they can get some more wins under their belt. The Charge is doing much better than the Cavs. And Wednesday, they played the Grand Rapids Gold and won 115-90. Moni Bates led with 24 points. Isaiah Mobley had a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds. And Friday, they played the Sioux Falls Skyforce. They were up 29-23 at the end of the first, up 62-50 at the end of the half, up 91-85 at the end of three, and then they ended up losing 113-109. So they took a page out of the Cavs book right there. Moni Bates led with 33 points, which was a career high, and Isaiah Mobley had a double-double with 21 points and 16 rebounds. Their next games are tonight at the Motor City Cruise, Thursday versus the Indiana Mad Ants. And what kind of name is Mad Ants? As I was looking at the schedule, I was like, wait a minute, did I read that right? But I think I want a team called the Mad Ants. That sounds fun. I would like to see a Mad Ant. And then Saturday, again, they will play the Indiana Mad Ants. So, all right. Hopefully they can make those ants even madder and beat them. In college basketball, Ohio State played Central Michigan and won 88-61. And they played Minnesota and won 84-74. Their next games are tomorrow versus Miami of Ohio and Saturday at Penn State. Kent State played Shawnee State and won 103-61. Their next games are tonight at San Diego State and Saturday versus Cleveland State. Cleveland State played Youngstown State and lost 94-69, and then they played Detroit Mercy and won 69-58. Their next games are tonight versus St. Mary's, California, and Saturday against Kent State. Mount Union played Wilmington and lost 80-79. It was their first loss of the season. Their next games are tomorrow at Muskingum and Saturday at Ohio Northern. Youngstown State played Robert Morris and won 71-57. And as I said earlier, they beat Cleveland State 94-69. Their next games are tomorrow at Ohio University and Saturday at Western Michigan. Akron played UNLV and lost 72-70. Their next games are tonight versus Bradley and Saturday at Northern Kentucky. CSU's women's basketball team is 5-0 at home. So congratulations to them. That is quite a feat. But that is going to wrap things up for all things basketball. I am going to take another short break, and then I will be back to talk hockey and baseball right here on the Show of the Land with Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's talk some hockey. So the Columbus Blue Jackets played Wednesday against the Montreal Canadiens, and it was a 0-0 at the end of the first period. Patrick Laine got a goal, then the Canadiens tied it up, then Chinakhov got a goal, and then the Canadiens tied it up again, and it was 2-2 at the end of the second period. And then the Canadiens got 2 more goals, and the final was 4-2. Boo. Damon Severson was placed on IR, and Kent Johnson was recalled from the Cleveland Monsters. Cole Sillinger has an upper body injury and is day-to-day. Friday, they played the Senators. Voronkov and Line had goals in the first period, and it was 2-2 at the end of one. Fantilli and Boone scored goals in the second period, and it was 4-2 at the end of two, and they won 4-2. And this is the first time that Adam Fantilli has scored the go-ahead goal, and the Blue Jackets have ended up winning. The last few times that he has scored the go-ahead goal, they ended up losing. So, yay! Daniil Tarasov was placed on long-term IR and loaned to the Cleveland Monsters for a conditioning stint. And then the Blue Jackets played the Boston Bruins. Boone Jenner scored the only goal, and they ended up losing 3-1. Their next games are tonight against the LA Kings, Thursday against the Islanders, Friday against the Blues, and Sunday against the Panthers. So hopefully they can get a few more wins under their belts, because as of right now, they don't have that many. On to the Monsters. They do know how to win. Saturday, they played the Utica Comets, and Gauntz scored a goal. Then Malatesta scored a goal, and they were up 2-0 at the end of the first period. Then the Comets got a goal. Then Malatesta got another goal, and they were up 3-1 at the end of two. The Comets scored another goal, bringing the score to 3-2, and then Carson got a goal, and it was 4-2, and that was the final. Sunday, they played the Utica Comets again. Malatesta, Christensen, Owen Sillinger, Fix Wolanski, and McCown all scored goals in the first period, and at the end of one, the score was 5-2. Bemstrom scored a goal in the second, and it was 6-4 at the end of two, but they ended up losing 7-6. Bummer. Their next games are Wednesday at the Hartford Wolfpack, Friday at Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and Saturday at the Hershey Bears. That sounds delicious. Next, some Guardians news, and I have some breaking news. Maybe you hear it here first. I saw it on ESPN, but that's only because I have my notifications turned on. But anyway, the Guardians waived Oscar Gonzalez, and he was claimed by the New York Yankees. Right-handed pitcher Jamie Barria was signed to a minor league contract with a non-roster invite to Major League Camp. Guards Fest has been scheduled for January 20th at the Huntington Convention Center. Tickets are $15 for non-season ticket holders, and there will be a player panel, photo, and autograph opportunities are also available for an additional fee. And now for the breaking news. The Guardians, with a 2% chance, have landed the number one pick in the MLB draft in 2024. Woohoo! Go Guardians! You heard it here first. 2024 is the Guardians' year. They're going all the way because I said so. New coach, number one draft pick. What can go wrong? So go Guardians. And a last bit of news in the volleyball area. Ohio State's women's volleyball's Emily Londot was the unanimous All Big Ten first team vote getter. So congratulations to Emily, that is about all I have for Cleveland and Columbus sports. Hopefully, some of these teams can get some wins this week, especially the freaking Browns with their quarterback carousel. And I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. So I can't even say go whoever because I don't know who to say go to. So just go Browns and beat the freaking Jaguars because we deserve it and we need it because 2 losses in a row sucks. And on Saturday, be sure to tune in to Fox at 4 p.m. Eastern and cheer on the Columbus Crew in the MLS Cup. Go Crew. It's time to paint Ohio, and yes, I am vomiting in my mouth, black and gold. Well, actually, let's paint the entire United States black and gold, because the Crew is going to win the MLS Cup on Saturday. They are. Sorry for anybody rooting for LA, but go Crew. And then, of course, we want to say, go Cavs this week, go Charge, go Blue Jackets, go Monsters, and, of course, go Browns. It's always go Browns. And then go all them college basketball teams. I don't think there's any college football going on this weekend, at least not in this region, because everybody lost their playoff matches, so they're all out, and the bowl games don't start for a couple more weeks. So, college basketball it is. So go college basketball people. But before we wrap things up, just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky. Be sure to check them out at planetjerky.net and on Instagram at Planet Jerky. It's premium beef brisket jerky in 7 flavors, ranging in price from $10 to $20 per pack, depending on the size of the pack. And they offer free shipping on orders over $50. So be sure to log on to planetjerky.net and get you some premium beef brisket jerky. But that is going to wrap things up for tonight on the Show of the Land with Jen B. Go Crew. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, Threads, at BelieveLandGirl, and on TikTok at JenNN.BelieveLand. Also, follow the show for daily updates on Cleveland and Columbus sports on X at Show of the Land IE. And be sure to follow IE Sports Radio on all social media platforms at IE Sports Radio. You can follow them on Facebook, X, Insta, TikTok, all at IE Sports Radio. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax, and a shout out to Patty who just jumped in the chat. So be sure to jump in and listen to her show for all that is Buffalo sports. And be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio.